Petr Yan has responded to Merab going off on him on social media this week. After Yan defeated Merab at UFC 323, the two had a friendly exchange on social media the following day. However, Yan stated in an interview afterwards that it was actually his manager who made those posts, and not him. Merab then went off on Yan and called him a liar. Yan responded today saying, "My manager Syed doesn't write anything without my permission. He sends me what the other fighter said about me, and we come up with a reply together. Syed always tries to make it sound softer. Sometimes he doesn't translate certain parts so I won't get emotional. I actually argue with him about that. I want to know word for word who said what. Well, Merab, what did he expect? That after the fight we suddenly become friends? He talked so much nonsense. I don't know what he wants." Brandon Moreno is making a quick turnaround following his TKO loss to Tatsuro Taira at UFC 323. He's now set to face Asu Almabayav at UFC Mexico on February 28th. Almabayav is currently riding a 2-fight winning streak. Most recently, he defeated Alex Perez by third-round submission in November. Nate Diaz says he's looking to fight Paddy Pimblett next.
What up, Nate? What up? Who you fighting next?
I'm looking at Pimblett. Probably Pimblett.
Who you going to fight? Paul or Joshua?
I got my money on Paul. He might get knocked out, but if he don't walk away.
Paddy left a comment on that video with this gif of him giving a double thumbs up. Carlos Prates got into a heated altercation at a CFC event last night in Turkey. Carlos allegedly criticized fighter Mavlud Tifiev for taking the win by disqualification after absorbing an illegal blow, and this is what unfolded afterwards.
Hey! Volkan, alsana bu arkadaşı. Şu arkadaşı bir alsana oraya.
Arman Tsarukyan posted footage of himself visiting a mini Starbucks in the mountains. Henry Cejudo revealed that Alexandre Pantoja has been dealing with lingering elbow issues ever since a motorcycle accident years ago. He also gave credit to Petr Yan for defeating Merab and becoming a 2-time UFC bantamweight champion.
Check out what I'm about to say. This belt will change hands a lot, bro, at 125 pounds, especially because this whole injury that happened. Pantoja, I've known him in the past. I know he's had a motorcycle accident, and I think it's that same. He's had that elbow problem, I believe, for a minute. Since as far as I've known him, I know him since 2016. You know, close to pretty much a decade, where we're really close and tight. And a dislocation like that could really just put a big burden on his career. But Haraguchi, Minao Ka, Tatsuro Taira. Bro, there is a lot of dudes in that flyweight division where people are kind of sleeping on it. This could become the most competitive division in the UFC, bro, especially what's happening right now. There was nothing really that really hurt Petr Yan from Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah, he got a couple right hands, but it was nothing that was, that I got stuck by with Peyton Talbot. He stuck to his ground. He stayed in the center, and he fought him there. I think, this says a lot about Petr Yan. He became champion in year 2020. Yeah, he won the belt because I retired, so he won it in 2020. And then to come back, bro, 5 years later and be crowned as champion, bro. Kudos, man. I did not think that thing was possible, dude. Honestly.
Khamzat Chimaev recently said that he plans to defend the middleweight title once and then move up to light heavyweight. Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on that. On the most recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe said, "I think he can do it. I think he can do it if he takes time and puts weight on. Because he's tall, and also the thing is these gaps in wrestling, these gaps in grappling. When a guy's a really good grappler, and then you're taking on Dricus, who's really a striker, he's a good grappler, a jiu-jitsu guy, but there's levels. The kind of guy like Khamzat, like, man, you've got to be a f***ing Olympic caliber wrestler to scrap with that guy." Sean O'Malley believes a rematch between him and Petr Yan would be the biggest fight in the bantamweight division right now. Sean is currently preparing to face Song Yadong at UFC 324.
Yeah, I mean, if Merab would have won and I go out there and beat Song, it's like I'm not really looking to, get a title shot after that. I would probably need one more. But yeah, I mean, I'm 1-0 against Petr. I did take him down, by the way. They didn't count the takedown. It was a beautiful takedown. I landed at the end of the first round. No one wants to talk about it, but it was a beautiful takedown. Well, it makes sense. There's a lot of fun fights. Umar versus Petr Yan is, dude, if they make that fight, I'm not mad. That's a sweet fight. I just think I go out there and finish Song. It's me and Petr at the White House. I don't understand what fight could be bigger. Umar and Petr, I think, is a big fight. I think it's a huge fight, but I don't think it's bigger than me versus Petr rematch for the belt at the White House. I don't think there's a bigger fight to make in the bantamweight division.
Yeah. Jiri Prochazka held his baby's gender reveal yesterday, and he did it in the most Jiri way possible. Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen have responded to Aljamain Sterling's claim that Merab didn't have enough time to warm up before fighting Petr Yan, due to the Joshua Van versus Alexandre Pantoja fight ending so quickly. While many fans criticized Aljo for the comment and called it an excuse, DC and Chael don't see it that way.
But what I was more interested in was Aljamain Sterling came out and said, one, he felt like Merab, the activity was a lot. Maybe that was too much, I think. And then he also said Merab didn't get the warm-up that he wanted. He said they were thinking to themselves, as soon as Brandon Moreno's fight was over, they would start to warm up. They'll start getting ready. But then the Joshua Van Pantoja fight went as it went. And so they ended up going much sooner than they expected to. Chael, many people will say it's just an excuse. But Chael, you don't get to warm up the correct way before a fight. It has all kinds of impact, not only physically, but emotionally.
Daniel, I fully agree. I mean, in the world of excuse making, this one's going to go right over people's head, and they're really not going to understand. So maybe you and I that have been in the locker room can try to illustrate this, but it's a big deal. You will visualize a fight every night from the day you sign that contract. Every meal that you have, you're wondering what your opponent's eating. Every practice you're at, you're wondering how hard is he trained. But you're thinking about that night. You're thinking about Bruce Buffer. You're thinking about that walkout song. You're thinking about the crowd maybe cheering you, maybe booing you. I only share for you, when that gets disrupted, at the last second, it starts to weigh on you. Now, whether it should or not can be another conversation. I'm just speaking to the reality that it does. And if I can offer you this, in the sport of boxing, Mike Tyson specifically would put in his contract the time that he would leave the locker room. And it was a big deal. Sometimes you'd be watching a boxing event, the co-main event gets over, you go, are they going to bring this main event out? And these announcers are up there, they're killing time, they're doing a podcast. What a lot of people don't know is the champion many times will put in his contract when he leaves the locker room just for this very reason. So that if anything happens, he does not get rushed. I know in our sport, you got to deal with it, but I don't look at this as an excuse. I thought it was an insight. When Aljo gave this to us, I looked at it as an insight. I thought it was very compelling, frankly.
Alexander Volkanovski is playing Joe in the new Street Fighter movie set to come out next year.
Say goodbye, Volk.
Hey?
Say goodbye to that.
Yeah,
Unless they need you.
I want more for myself, you know?
Unless they need you. Unless they need you in, mate, you know?
Jamahal Hill was not happy about Ariel Helwani's reaction video on his altercation with Joanna Jedrzejczyk this week. Ariel posted a video to his YouTube channel discussing the situation with some friends, and Ariel himself didn't really say much on the matter. However, Jamahal felt he came across as disingenuous.
I watched like 30 seconds of Jamal's video and like 25 of Joanna, and then I said I can't, I don't know what's going on. I just want to let you know, guys, that Joaquin Buckley has weighed in. I see here,
thank God.
Buckley. I would like a Joaquin Buckley Jamahal Hill tag team. I feel like that would be just
against Joanna.
No. I just mean they just seem to be like the same type of vibe as far as the way they handle these situations. It's like it's always great, you know, internet fodder. Yup, she did that. I ain't falling for it. That's what Joaquin Buckley has said. Anything else we need to know about this feud right now?
No, I think we're ready to move on.
This is what the YouTube title is going to be. Jamahal Hill roasts, all caps, Joanna Jedrzejczyk, semicolon, Ariel Helwani breakdown, even though I've offered absolutely no intel.
Jamahal responded to that video on his YouTube channel and called Ariel a snake and unprofessional.
Because this is exactly the reason why I don't mess with Ariel Helwani. This dude and his platform is so disingenuous, fake, and snake-like. The man claims to be a journalist. They claim to be a real journalist. He always talks about real journalism and all these things. You will see another example in this of unprofessionalism, not doing your research. He even says in this clip that he didn't watch this, or he didn't watch the video, and he didn't research this topic at all, but yet he decided to bring it to his platform and try to paint me in a negative light. If you weren't gonna research it, you weren't gonna do any actual journalistic work on it, then you should have just left it alone and not spoke on it.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to the back and forth between Dana White and Francis Ngannou. It's from Fun Stuff 5365. It says Francis did not even deny any of Dana's claims on Ariel's show. The second one's from TSI Gaming. It says so tired of people winning the belt and wanting to move up for another one. And the final one's from Dustin Nance. It says Dana White, I'm okay with tough guy I'm not okay with bad guy unless your name is John Jones. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.